So we are still talking about the equations of straight lines in the coordinate plane, okay? But up to now, up to this moment, so what we are doing is the equation of one straight line, okay? Or so we are going to do the straight line one by one. But in the following section, we are going to consider the relationship between two straight lines, okay? So what is meant by the relationship between two straight lines is that there will be three different cases. So I just tell you because it is very obvious, okay? So I'm not going to go through the class activity here, okay? So I just go to page 2.33, okay? So there will be three different cases of the relationship between two straight lines. It's case one. So this will be case one. Case one, when the two straight lines are not parallel, then they will meet, okay, meet at one point, okay? So the point is called the intersection point, or the point of intersection, okay, of L1 and L2. Whenever two lines are not parallel to each other, they must intersect at one point. And then after intersecting at that point, they will go away from each other, okay, and will not meet each other anymore, just one time, okay? So it is only one intersection point here. And then for the case two, second case, if they are parallel, okay, if they are parallel, the L1 and L2 are parallel, and they have different y-intercepts, or different, they have one different point here, okay? The y-intercept, y int 1, and this is y int 2, okay? Y int 1 and y int 2. If they are different, then they are just a pair of parallel lines. Okay, they will go in the same direction forever, and they will not meet each other. Okay, the two lines does not have any intersection point. Okay, they will not meet each other. Okay, and then case three is that if L1 and L2 are parallel, okay, L1 and L2 are parallel, and if they have the same y-intercept, okay, then so the y-intercept, y int 1 and y int 2 are the same, then the two straight lines will be completely overlapping each other, okay? The line 1 and line 2 are overlapping each other, or so there is one term, okay, that looks more professional, okay? They are coincide, okay? Coincide means overlap, okay? Completely overlap and coincide, okay? 即係重疊咁解啊 ，okay？ 完全重疊。And then we are counting how many intersection points are there. In case one, there is only one intersection point, okay? Only one. And then for case two, if they are parallel, but with different y-intercept, so they will have no intersection points, okay? And then for case three, if the two lines are parallel and passing through the same y-axis point, y-intercept, okay, or x-intercept. Well, this x-intercept, x int 1 and x int 2 are also the same point, okay? Then they are actually overlapping with each other. So we will say that L1 and L2 coincide, okay? It's not coincide, it's coincide, okay? And the number of intersection points will be infinitely many intersection points. Okay, so we need to distinguish between case 1, case 2, and case 3 in this section. So what is the key point to distinguish between them? That is the number of intersection points between the two lines. Okay, case 1, 1 intersection point. Case 2, no intersection point. Case 3, infinitely many intersection points. 嗱，呢度有3個 case 啊，即係用幾多個相交點嚟到去分辨邊個係 case 1、case 2、case 3咁樣樣。OK， 好啦，但係如果我哋得條式嘅 ，OK， 淨係得條 equation of straight line 嘅，我哋點可以分辨到究竟L1、L2 係屬於 case 1呢一種嘅關係啊，定係屬於 case 2呢種關係，定係屬於 case 3呢種關係咧？咁我哋要計啲咩嘢先可以判斷到究竟屬於邊個 case 咧？咁就係而家要講啦。Okay, so we're going to learn what should we calculate in order to distinguish between case 1, case 2, and case 3 when the question just gives us the equation of line 1 and the equation of line 2. Okay, so case 1 is much easier. Okay, the first thing you need to check is the slope. Okay, M1 and M2. You need to calculate slope of L1 and slope of L2. So, and I'm going to call them M1 and M2. Okay, M2. If they are not equal. Okay, so 點樣寫好咧？睇先。Are they equal? Okay. Are they equal? If no, M1 is not equal to M2, then it is case 1. If they are having the different slopes, then that will be case 1. Okay, because any two lines having two different slopes, they must intersect each other at one point only. Okay, and then if M1 is equal to M2， 好啦，如果 slope 1係等於 slope 2嘅話咧，即係佢哋係平衡咯，同一個方向咯，我哋就要 check 多一樣嘢啦。OK，check 多一樣嘢 ，check 下 y int 1、y intercept 1 and y intercept 2。Are they equal? So this y int 1 is equal to y int 2 or not? Then we will have two different answers. If yes, y int 1 is equal to y int 2. Okay, it's not first. Okay, 如果唔等於嘅話咧 so this will be case 2. Case 2. And if they are equal, y int 1 is equal to y int 2, then this is case 3. Okay, 好，可能你睇唔到啦，我會再寫一次下。OK， 我再寫一次下。你可能要抄低呢個啦。Okay, so for L1 and L2, two straight lines. First, check M1 is equal to M2 or not. Okay, and then there will be two cases. If M1 is not equal to M2, then we have the conclusion that it is case 1. Case 1 means there will be one intersection point. Okay, and then but if M1 is equal to M2. Okay, then we need to check the second step. We need to check whether the y-intercept 1 is equal to y-intercept 2 or not. Okay, if y-intercept 1 is not equal to y-intercept 2, then we can conclude that it is case 2. Case 2 means there is no intersection point. Okay, but if y-intercept 1 is equal to y-intercept 2, then we have conclusion that it is case 3. Case 3 means that there will be infinitely many intersection points. OK， 就係咁樣去分辨嘅。先 check 個 slope 兩條線嘅 slope 係咪一樣嘅，即係佢哋嘅方向係咪一樣啦？如果方向係唔一樣嘅話咧，咁就收工啦。可以結論佢係 case 1 嘅，咁即係咧係會有一個相交點呢一隻 case 嚟嘅，得唔得？即係話咧嗰幅圖咧可能係咁樣嘅。Okay, so this is case 1. L1 and L2 will have one intersection point. Okay, and then for case 2, if the slopes are equal, but their y-intercepts are not equal, then they are a pair of parallel lines. Okay, L1 and L2 are parallel because they are having the same slope. Okay, but they cut the y-axis at different positions. Okay, so they are just a pair of normal parallel lines, okay, with no intersection point here. They will not meet each other forever, okay? And for case 3, L1 and L2 are having the same slope and having the same y-intercept. So basically, L1 and L2 are the same straight line. So L1 and L2 are coincident or coincide with each other. They are overlapping each other. Okay. So how many intersection points are there? There will be infinitely many intersection points. Infinitely many 即係無限咁多。OK， 有無限多點嘅相交點咁嘅意思。OK。So this is the concept part， 得唔得？呢個咧就係唯一我哋呢一部分學嘅 concept 部分啦。我哋要辨認有3種唔同嘅 cases 嘅 ，OK？ Case 1, Case 2 and Case 3。All right. So now I would like to do some exercise now. OK？ 好啦，佢會點樣問你咧？呢度，好，呢度就係咁樣啦。Let's go to the next page. Number 13. Example number 13. So in each of the following, find the number of points of intersection of the straight lines L1 and L2. Okay, so we need to find out how many intersection points are there. How many intersection points between L1 and L2. Okay, so we need to consider the 2 stages. Okay, first one, check whether their slopes are equal or not. Okay, if they are not equal, then we are done. It's case 1. If they are equal, then we need to check one more thing. Their y-intercepts, okay? Okay, so part A. For L1, it's 2x minus 3y plus 4 is equal to 0. 好啦，咁考大家睇記唔記得咧？點樣去揾 slope 啦？咁如果你跟書嘅方法就係背公式啦。咁但係如果你跟我嘅方法嘅話咧，就係將個 y 轉做 subject， 然之後咧楞住 x 個數就係 slope 啦。So I'm going to keep the x term on the left. The y term move to the right because I want the y term to be positive term, okay, this time, because I want the y to be the subject. And then divide the 3 to the left-hand side. It is like this, okay? So M1 is equal to 2 over 3. 好，嗱呢度咧直接我哋可以睇埋嘅。如果你有印象嘅話，我講過咧 y equals mx plus b. This is the slope. This is the y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept. So to distinguish between case 1, case 2, and case 3, we need to compare the slopes, and we need to compare the y-intercepts. So for this form, y equals mx plus b, this is very good for us to do the comparison, because when y is changed to be the subject, then we can identify the values of slope and the value of the y-intercept directly, okay? So m1 is equal to 2 over 3, sorry. And then y-intercept 1 is equal to 4 over 3, okay? And then for L2, x plus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0. And I am going to change the subject to be y, okay? So it becomes negative x plus 3, and then divide the 2 is negative 1 over 2x plus 3 over 2. So m2 will be equal to negative 1 over 2, and y-intercept 2 will be 3 over 2, okay? And for the first step, for the first checking, we need to check the slopes, okay? Because m1 is not equal to m2, okay? m1 is 2 over 3, and m2 is negative 1 over 2. They are not equal. Therefore, we can conclude that it is case 1, okay? But you do not write case 1. You write conclusion. Therefore, there is one intersection point. Answer. Okay, we just want to find the number of intersection points here. Okay, so that is the answer. This is part A. And then let's do part B. Part B. So let me clear the board first. Part B. For L1, so we have 3x minus y minus 2 equals 0. And then I need to change the subject to be y. Okay, so now y is the subject, and m1 is equal to 3. Y-intercept 1 is negative 2. Okay, and then for L2, we have 9x minus 3y plus 2 equals 0. So move the 3y to the right, and then divide to the left. This becomes 3x plus 2 over 3 equals y. So m2 is equal to 3, and y-int 2 is equal to 2 over 3. Okay, and now we have m1 is equal to m2. Okay, m1 equals m2 means that it is not case 1. Okay, so this is not case 1. Okay, but is it does it belong to case 2 or case 3? So we will compare their y-intercept. That's right, it's not therefore. It should be and. Y-intercept 1 is not equal to y-intercept 2. Okay, so they are parallel, but not passing through the same points, which means that they are just a pair of normal parallel lines, okay? Which means that it should be case 2, okay? Case 2 means there is no intersection point. Okay, so that is the answer, all right? And let's do part C also. Part C, so L1 is y equals negative 2x plus 1. We do not need to change the subject because y is already the subject here. So m1 is negative 2, and y-intercept 1 is 1. And then for L2, we have 6x plus 3y minus 3 equals 0. And then keeping the y terms on left is negative 6x plus 3. Dividing the 3 to all the terms on the right-hand side, it becomes negative 2x plus 1. Okay, and then m2 is negative 2, and y-int 2 is 1. Okay, and you can see this. because M1 is equal to M2, which means that it is not case 1. And y int 1 is equal to y int 2. Okay, therefore, they are a parallel lines and they pass through the same point, so they are actually overlapping with each other. Okay, so there are infinitely many intersection points. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, 好，呢個位俾個反應我。If you are okay for the concept here, so please give me a like or a clap, please. Thank you. If you are okay for this case 1, case 2, case 3 things, okay, how to calculate, what to calculate, and how to calculate, and please give me a like or a clap. If you are not okay for any part, please raise your hand. 好，有冇任何唔明嘅呢度？唔明嘅可以舉一舉手啊！如果明嘅就俾個反應，俾個 like，俾個 clap 我。Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so if there is no raised hand, then I would like you to do the classwork. So let's go to the instant drill. Instant drill number 13. Okay, so I have already typed in the Math app. So please log into the Math app for today's classwork. Okay. And I give you 4 minutes, 3 minutes to do this. So please remember to upload to the Math app. Okay, 留意資料啊。 Okay, let's check the answers. Part A. For L1, so y is equal to negative 1 over 2x plus 4. So it is already in a good form. So M1 is negative 1 over 2 and y int 1 is equal to 4. For L2, so 2x plus y minus 1 is equal to 0. Keeping y to be the subject, negative 2x plus 1. So M2 is negative 2 and y int 2 is equal to 1. Okay, because M1 is not equal to M2, therefore we can go to the conclusion directly. Okay, so there is only one intersection point. Answer. Okay, part B. For L1, so 5x minus 20y minus 10 is equal to 0, and then keeping y to the positive side, which is here, and then dividing the 20 to the left becomes 1 over 4x minus 1 over 2 is equal to y. So M1 is equal to 1 over 4 and y int 1 is equal to negative 1 over 2. Okay, and then for L2, equation is 4x minus 16, y minus 8 equals 0, and move the y term to the positive side, and then dividing the 16, it becomes 1 over 4x minus 1 over 2 equals y. So M2 is 1 over 4, and y int 2 is negative 1 over 2. So as you can see, M1 is equal to M2, so it is not case 1. Then we need to go to compare the y-intercepts. So y-in1 and y-intercept 2 are exactly the same. So it is case 3. Case 3 means the two straight lines are completely overlapping each other. Okay, so there will be infinitely many intersection points. Okay, answer. And then for part C, so let me clear this. For part C, so L1 is 4x plus 2y minus 3 equals 0, keeping y terms to the positive side, dividing the number. M1 is equal to negative 2, and y-intercept 1 is 3 over 2. And then for L2, (6x plus 3y plus 1 is equal to 0. Changing subject to y, and will be negative 2x minus 1 over 3. So M2 is negative 2, and y int 2 is negative 1 over 3. Okay, so as you can see, M1 is equal to M2. So it is not case 1, and y int 1 is not equal to y int 2. Okay, same slope but passing through different points. So they are just a normal parallel lines, which means that there will be no intersection point. Answer. OK， 好，呢度有冇同學做唔到嘅？如果做唔到嘅，可以舉舉手。跟唔到嘅，或者有邊個 step 可能係唔係好 get 到嘅，舉舉手啊！有冇 ？If there is no problem, I'm going to clear the board. Okay, so clear. And then next， 好，跟住你都估到咧，即係喺數學 DSE 或者中學嘅課程就係咁樣噶啦。第一樣嘢教完你去到求嗰樣嘢嘅，第二樣嘢就調翻轉嚟問你噶啦喎，係嘛？即係條式裏邊有啲未知數嘅，但係話咗俾你聽佢有幾多個相交點，然之後咧就叫你 利用我哋即係 case one、case two、case three 咧呢啲嘢咧，去到求翻嗰啲未知數出嚟嘅。OK 得唔得？好啦，我睇下點樣做先啊喺度啊，睇下佢點樣問，同埋睇下啲 step 咧點樣寫先。OK， so the equations of the two straight lines L1 and L2 are given below. Okay, so L1 is like this, L2 is like this. And so you can see that there are two unknowns. A and B are the unknowns, okay, that we are going to find. And then, so the question gives us that L1 and L2 have infinitely many points of intersection. So this is the information given by the question. It belongs to case 3. Case 3. Case 3 means M1 is equal to M2 and y-intercept 1 is equal to y-intercept 2, right? Okay, so we are going to find the M1 and M2 and find the y-int 1 and y-int 2, okay? And then compare them, put them together to be an equation. For L1, we have ax minus 3y plus 4 equals 0, changing subject to y. Like this, a over 3 times x plus 4 over 3 equals y, which means that M1 is equal to a over 3 and y-int 1 is equal to 4 over 3. And for L2, we have 2x plus by plus 8 equals 0, changing subject to y, okay? It is like this, and then dividing the b, it's negative 2 over b, x minus 8 over b, okay? Which means that the M2 is equal to negative 2 over b, and y-int 2 is equal to negative 8 over b, okay? But now we are going to use the information given by the question, okay? M1 is equal to M2, okay? M1, or you just write down the value, it's a over 3 is equal to negative 2 over b. But unluckily, we have two unknowns in one equation. So we are not ready to find values of a and b from this equation. Okay, so we need to check for the other one. Y-int 1 is equal to y-int 2. Can you see that when we compare their y-intercepts, there is only one unknown involved in this equation. So from this equation, we can find the value of the unknown b. All right? 好嗱，咁啊，應該如果計得快嘅同學，應該就可以好快計到個 b 嘅。但係如果即係有少少即係慢嘅同學嘅話咧，記得交叉相乘，跟住除翻個4過去。Then we can find the value of b to be negative 6. Okay? 頭先我話唔好彩 unluckily 就係我哋寫咗第一條式出嚟嘅時候咧，用個 slope 去 compare 嘅時候咧，係一條式裏邊有2個未知數，咁就未計到住嘅。但係好彩咧，就係如果我哋寫第2條式出嚟嘅時候咧，就係得翻1個未知數，就可以計到其中1個未知數，即係個 b 出嚟。咁我哋計完個 b 出嚟之後咧，我哋 put 翻落去第一條式嗰度，即係咁啦。a over 3 is equal to negative 2 over negative 6. Okay? Then from this equation, we can also find the value of a, right? Okay? So I think a should be equal to 1. Okay? So that is the answer. Okay, that is how we can find the values of a and b. 咁但係呢度咧，記住我哋呢一題啊，想大家學識嘅嘢就係喺呢啲有未知數嘅 equation 裏邊，我哋需要有一個額外嘅資料，即係一啲 extra information， 去到俾我哋列到條式出嚟，去到計未知數嘅。今次呢一題嘅額外資料，即係 extra information 咧，就係 L1、L2 have infinitely many points of intersection。OK， 可以由我哋嘅温咗書就知道咧，佢屬於 case 3。case 3即係咩啊 ？case 3即係話咧 slope equal, y-intercepts are also equal。OK， 咁嘅時候咧，其實咧係一次過俾到我哋咧係列2條式喎。 slope equal 就列到 equation 1 y-intercept equal can set up equation 2 okay so we have 2 equations such that we can find 2 unknowns okay that is like this 好有問題 so let us try to do instant drill number 14 now okay so I give you 4 minutes to do this instant drill number 14喂，陳正南，我都係睇唔到你交出嚟嗰啲嘢嘅喎。嗱，你自己睇唔睇得翻啊？陳正南，
睇唔到啊！
你自己都睇唔到係嘛？你會唔會試下睇下點咧？哦，唔緊要，我之後先至能搞。我知道你交咗嘅，我喺個 server 嗰度揾到你嗰啲嘅交出嚟嘅嘢嘅。咁但係你自己撈都撈唔到出嚟噶嘛，係嘛？每一張都撈唔到噶嘛，係咯。咁你係咪圖片格式嚟㗎？肯唔肯定？
係啊。
係嘅。究竟咩事咧？好唔緊要啦，但總之我收到你嘅功課㗎啦，但係我未必可以即時 check 到你啱唔啱嘅，咁我可能要稍後先至 check 到㗎啦。咁就如果你可以試下用一啲唔同嘅格式啊，或者唔同嘅 software 去到save 多一次嘅話咧，咁就好啲。OK， 咁你可以試一試。咁但係如果係太麻煩嘅話咧，咁都冇所謂嘅，我可以攞到嘅。OK。因為而家淨係得你係睇唔到啫，其他所有同學嗰啲都睇到。All right, let's check the answers. So part A, in each of the following, the equations of 2 straight lines L1, L2 are given. If L1, L2 have infinitely many points of intersection, so in both parts, part A, part B, L1 and L2 are having infinitely many points of intersection, which means that it is case 3. Case 3 means that the slopes are equal and the y-intercepts are also equal, okay? And then, so we have two equations for us to find the unknowns, all right? And so for L1, we have 8x plus 4y plus a equals 0. So for y, making y to be the subject, so it is like this, and then y will be negative 2x minus a over 4. So m1 is equal to negative 2, and y in 1 is equal to negative a over 4. Okay, and then for L2, 6x plus by minus 9 is equal to 0. And then by is equal to negative 6x plus 9. So y is equal to negative 6 over bx plus 9 over b, which means that m2 is equal to negative 6 over b, and y in 2 is equal to 9 over b. Okay, and from the given information of the question, we know that the m1 and m2 will be equal. Therefore, we can set up an equation: negative 2 is equal to negative 6 over b. Okay, so negative 2b is equal to negative 6, which means that b should be equal to positive 3. Okay, and then we also know that the y-intercept 1 and y-intercept 2 are also equal. Y-2 is 9 over b, but we have found that b to be equal to 3. So just substitute 3 here, okay? So negative a is equal to 12, and then a should be equal to negative 12. This is a 12. Okay, a is negative 12, all right? And then part B, so we do the same thing for L1, mx plus 5y plus n is equal to 0, and then 5y will be negative mx minus n, y is negative m over 5 times x minus n over 5. So slope 1 is equal to negative m over 5, and y int 1 is negative n over 5. For L2, we have 8x plus 20y minus 7 is equal to 0. 20y is equal to negative 8x plus 7. So y is negative 8 over 20, which is negative 2 over 5x plus 7 over 20. Okay, which means that m2 is equal to negative 2 over 5, and then y int 2 is equal to 7 over 20. And from the information given by the question, we know that m1 should be equal to m2. Okay, and then after some simple calculation, we'll find that m is equal to 2. And the y int 1 is also equal to y int 2. So n should be equal to negative 7 over 4. Okay, so that is how we can find the answer from this. Is that okay? 好，嚟到呢度俾個反應我得唔得？If you are okay for instant drill number 14, so please give me a like or a clap. Okay, if you are completely okay for instant drill number 14 and this concept, please give me a like or a clap. If you are not okay for any steps, okay, please raise your hand. 如果完全 OK 嘅，俾個 like 或者 clap 我；如果唔 OK 嘅，俾個舉手我。Okay, thank you. 有冇人舉手 ？Okay, so I'm going to clear the board now. Okay, next. Next page. 好啦，嗱，呢度咧有一個 concept。 我哋如果係 case one， 嗱，其實咧講真咧 ，case three 係冇嘢好做嘅。case three 咧最好問咧就係頭先 instant drill number 14㗎啦。OK，case two 咧其實都冇乜嘢好問嘅啫，因為佢係 parallel。好啦，即係其中問得最多一樣嘢咧就係 case one。case one 咧有一個 intersection point 係咪？咁我哋咧，如果佢有一個 intersection point 嘅話咧，我哋就會嘗試揾佢嘅 intersection point 嘅坐標出嚟啦。OK，so if it is case one, then we are going to find the coordinates of the intersection points among the L1 and L2. Okay, but how to find the intersection points? It is by solving simultaneous equation. 好啦，呢度有記住喎，呢個咧又係永遠都係嘅，永遠啊！你一見到 intersection point 呢個字 ，OK， 無論喺以後邊一課都好，邊一課任何一課都係啦。一見到 find intersection point 或者甚至乎 intersection point 呢個字咧，一定就係相交點啦，一定就係將兩樣嘢嘅嗰兩條式擺做一式二式，跟住 solve 咗佢，用我哋聯立方程式嘅方法咧去到 solve 咗佢。Okay, so whenever you see the word intersection points, okay, so the intersection point must be the intersection point of two things, two lines, or one line, one circle, or one curve, one circle. Okay, so two things, and the two things will have their own equations. Whenever we want to find the coordinates of the intersection points, then we are going to put the equations to be equation 1, equation 2, and then we will solve the simultaneous equations, okay, by using the method of substitution or method of elimination we have learned in form 2. All right? It is always like this, okay? 得唔得？因為咧，以後你會見到嘅咧，未必會係兩條直線嘅 intersection point 嘅喎，可能係兩嚿嘢嘅 intersection point 嘅喎，但係都係咁樣揾嘅。你將佢 set 做一式二式，跟住用你哋 solve 聯立方程式嘅技巧咧，去到 solve 咗佢咧，咁就係啦。OK， all right. So example 15. Okay, let us read example 15 together. Okay, so two straight lines L1 and L2. So can you see that equation of L1 is given, equation of L2 is also given. Okay, and then intersect at the point P. 講到明係 intersect at the point P 㗎啦，即係有相交點啦，即係 case one 啦。咁但係我哋都唔需要理會佢 case one 啦。總之係 intersect at the point P, which means that P will be the intersection point. And now, part A, we are going to find the coordinates of point P. So we are going to find the coordinates of intersection point, and then we are going to put the two equations together. Label this to be equation 1. And then equation L2 will be y equals 4 minus 4x, equation 2. 咁就用你哋 Form 2學過嘅 method of substitution 或者係 method of elimination 去到計咗個 x 同埋 y 係啦。咁啊呢度咁好equation 2咁啱 y 已經係做咗 subject 啦。咁我就直接咧 substitute equation 2 into equation 1. So it becomes 3x minus 4 times 4 minus 4x is equal to 22. Okay, and then remove it in brackets, minus 16 plus 16x equals 22. And then we will have 19x equals 38, which means that x is equal to 2. Okay, so the x coordinate of point P is equal to 2. But we also need to find the y coordinate. So we substitute x equals 2 into the equation with y as the subject. That is equation 2. Okay, so y is equal to 4 minus 4 times x, but x is changed to 2, which should be equal to negative 4. Okay, therefore, the conclusion is that the coordinates of point P is equal to 2 and negative 4. That is the answer of part A. Okay, so that is how we can find the coordinates of the intersection points. All right. Okay, and part B. So the straight line L3 passes through point P. If L3 is perpendicular to the straight line L4, then find the equation of L3。好啦，其實問嚟問去都係問嗰啲嘢啫，係嘛？又叫你 find the equation of L3。Find the equation of a straight line. So we need a point, we need a slope, and then we use the point slope form to write down the equation. All right. So for L3, do we have points? Yes, because L3 passes through point P, which means that point P is a point on L3, and then we can use this as the point. But do we have the slope of L3? It is not given. It's not given directly, but there is an information that L3 is perpendicular to the straight line L4. L3 is perpendicular to L4. So we know that M1 times or M3 times M4 is equal to -1, right? But we need to find M4 first. We do not have M4, but we have the equation of L4. So we need to find the slope of L4 from the equation of L4. 嗱係好麻煩嘅呢啲，係嘛？不過嚟嚟去去都係嗰幾樣嘢嘅啫。而家將所有嘢擺埋一齊嘅話咧，咁就睇下一啲唔係好熟嘅小朋友咧，就會亂晒大龍㗎啦。OK， 如果熟啲嘅小朋友嘅話咧，咁就應該係冇問題嘅。咁啊 ，x minus 5y is equal to 0. Then we are going to change the subject to y. So x is equal to 5y, and then 1 over 5 x is equal to y, which means that M4, this is L4. Okay, M4 is equal to 1 over 5. But because L3 is perpendicular to L4, which means that M3 times M4 is equal to -1. Okay, so M3 times 1 over 5 is -1, which means that M3 will be -5. Okay, so now we have a point for L3, and we have the slope of L3. And then we can write down the equation of L3 by using the point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m, that is -5 times x minus x1. Okay, removing the brackets, y plus 4 equals -5x plus 10. Moving all the terms to one side and keeping x term positive. So it will be to the left. 5x plus y plus 4 minus 10 becomes -6 equals 0. So that is the answer of part B. 好，得唔得呢度？嗱，呢題包含咗好多嘢㗎啦。OK， 即係絕對有資格成為一題7至到8分嘅考試題目啊！絕對有資格咁樣問嘅。OK。咁啊，如果你搞掂係多嘢擺埋一齊嘅啫，呢一課啊，即係講真，一啲都唔刁鑽嘅。OK， 未去到啲好刁鑽嘅題目，得唔得？咁啊，我哋試一試做下咯喎。So let's do the instant drill number 15 now. So I give you 6 minutes for this. So let's do instant drill number 15. Remember to upload to the Math app.
哦，老 Sir 喺個 math app 度咧，個 question number 5你寫咗，即係你寫咗係 textbook 嘅 exercise 2C 嘅 question number 5，但係其實係你俾 classwork 嘅第5條，但係 exercise 2C 嘅第26條。
係冇錯嗱，因為咧嗰啲其實咧就唔係好準確嘅，即係講真咁你就唔使理我咩第5條咁樣嗰啲，即係 from 邊條咁樣嗰啲㗎啦，咁就你揾唔揾得翻係其實係嚟自邊一度㗎？
揾得翻
，OK， 係啦，咁樣咁係盡量啦。如果你揾唔翻嘅話咧，咁就你問我得㗎啦。
好。
OK， 好 ，thank you。Okay, let's check the answers. 好快啊 ！And L1, L2 intersect at point P. So we're going to use the simultaneous equations. Okay, equation 1, and then equation 2. Okay, I would like to change the subject to y. Okay, from equation 1, y is equal to 2x, and then call this equation 3. And we are going to sub 3 into 2. So x minus 3 times 2x is equal to 15. So negative 5x is equal to 15, and x is equal to negative 3. And then sub x equals negative 3 into equation 3. Y is equal to 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Which means that coordinates of point P will be negative 3 and negative 6. Answer. Okay. Part B. L3 passes through P. So the point will be using negative 3, negative 6. And L3 is perpendicular to L4. Okay. So finding the slope, we are going to use L4, 5x plus 6y equals 0 to find the slope first. Okay. So y is equal to negative 5 over 6x, which means that M4 is equal to negative 5 over 6. Because L3, L4 are perpendicular, which means that the product of their slopes will be equal to negative 1. And then M3 times negative 5 over 6 is negative 1. So M3 will be 6 over 5. Okay. Now we have point, we have slope. So we can write down the equation of L3 by using the point slope form. Point slope form, y minus negative 6 is equal to 6 over 5 times x minus negative 3. Okay, so 5 bracket y plus 6 is 6 bracket x plus 3. 5y plus 30 is 6x plus 18. So final answer, 6x minus 5y minus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, so that is the answer. Is there any problems up to now? If you have problem, please raise your hand. Okay. If there's no problem, so I will stop here. Let's continue tomorrow. We are going to do a little bit more, slightly more challenging exercise tomorrow. Okay. So that's the end of this lesson, and you may leave now. Goodbye.